Do you know where in New Zealand is properly gorgeous, other than, everywhere? The Banks Peninsula. Good morning from the suburbs of Dunedin. Just a regular street, right? This is on my left here, this is Baldwin Street. But there is a reason that we're here. It is in fact the world's steepest street. Oh my god. That's outrageous. The world's steepest street. Hello from the top of the steepest street in the world. As I got to the top, I met this gentleman.
How are you?
So this is Dave Kernahan. Do you want to introduce yourself to the good people watching at home?
Hi, I'm Dave Kernahan. I live the next street over, and I used to run this. I used to do 30 up, 30 down every day.
For 20 years.
20 years.
So Dave holds the Guinness World Record for the most ascents and descents of the steepest street in the world.
Yeah.
Certified and recognised.
Yeah.
You got the certificate at home?
No, it's not recognised. It's just the reporter that did the.
Okay. Fantastic.
He used to see me doing the race here every year.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And there you go. And this is the fun of travelling. I found this wonderful gentleman just sitting at the top of the street that, by all accounts, I think really he owns. I mean, doesn't own the whole street, but he owns the street. That's so funny. I'm not sure you could walk down that. Yeah, he's not going to be able to stop once he starts running. Wowee. What a view.
We left Dunedin on our way to the Banks Peninsula, which is about a 5-hour drive north towards Christchurch. About an hour in, we came to the city of Oamaru, where we got distracted, quite predictably, by cheese.
Welcome to the Whitstone Cheese Factory here in central Otago. We are going to have a cheese platter. Say hello to a perfectly presented little cheese platter for $14.
So we're actually doing some market research because you can buy this in the supermarket. So we get to try our favourite ones and then buy them afterwards.
We're going to gobble this up.
Yeah.
This is aged Airedale. It's on the middle of the spectrum. And it tastes
Like cheese?
very
Really
different.
nice and soft and creamy. Very
A successful pit stop. We have left with some of this vintage Five Forks, which is amazing, some of the double cream brie, and a little cheese knife. Not bad at all. The Whitestone Cheese Store here in Oamaru in central Otago. Once more, New Zealand has offered a little lesson in not rushing through somewhere. We were going to drive as far as Christchurch today, which would have meant 5 hours just sitting and driving. And we stopped here in Oamaru just because it was a convenient place to pause, and we saw a sign for a cheese factory. But it's full of quite well preserved, as you can see, old Victorian style architecture. And it's really nice. We've just stopped for a walk around, but it's really beautiful. I think, as with so many of these places that we've been through, I think it's probably had its grand heyday. But what it's left behind, look at the pillars and the architecture. It's beautiful. We are going to explore Oamaru.
The town of Oamaru sits 120 kilometres north of Dunedin and is the third most populated town in the Otago region after Queenstown and Dunedin. Whilst Maori peoples have lived in the area for some time, the region was not settled by Europeans until around the 1850s. The town grew as a service centre for nearby agricultural industry and rapidly became part of a major port.
By the late 1880s, Oamaru was one of the most impressive looking places in all of New Zealand, with a plentiful supply of local limestone used to erect a range of prestigious local buildings. So, according to a few people we've spoken to, Oamaru used to have sort of a very big shipyard. They did a lot of exporting of fruit, of meat, of wool from here. And so a lot of these giant buildings are just storage units that have been repurposed. They were never designed for people to be in them. They weren't insulated or anything like that. But they've turned them all into really great museums and shops, and it's really cool. Really love it.
We spent the night in the nearby city of Oamaru before making our way to the Banks Peninsula the next morning. We started in the tiny settlement of Okains Bay.
Good afternoon from our campground for the next couple of nights. It is just the other side of this tree line. We are a 100-metre walk to this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous beach in this lovely sheltered cove, which means it's not wild and wavy and crazy. It's really beautiful. Really beautiful. Lauren's having a little cheese and sweet wine course pre-dinner. She looks very happy. So this whole peninsula is formed by volcanoes and volcanic activity. You can see how dark the sand is and the volcanic rock that forms the cliff face. It's beautiful. And what's even more beautiful is that we have the entire beach to ourselves. Look at that. What a place.
See all the little barnacles and limpets there?
All growing on the rock.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Good place, Benny.
Oh, look at those flowers. Just poking out of the rock face. They're gorgeous.
Oh my god!
What is that?
Possum.
Oh! Hello.
Oh, we've seen dead ones of those.
A possum. Oh, that was interesting. Oh, we finally saw an alive one.
They're encouraged to be killed because they're pests.
Hello, mate. That's the size of him.
And they...
Hiding in the rocks there.
Oh, they look evil.
He does look evil. And a bit cute. Plotting our death. Right, we'll leave him be. Bye, have a good life. Woo. Good afternoon. We are at the Okains Bay Museum, which is very small, but very well reviewed on Google. And there's nothing else to do here anyway, so let's go see. The Okains Bay Museum is a small but really wonderful museum, covering all aspects of life on the Banks Peninsula and some of the broader history of New Zealand. It contains several relocated heritage buildings and a number of nationally significant collections of Maori items. The museum was founded in 1977 by a local resident called Murray Thacker, who was descended from some of the earliest European settlers in the area. This is really interesting. I didn't realise that Maori also carved whale bones into weapons. They had a ready supply of whale bones from whales getting stranded on the shores. And it was very tough, very light and easy to work into different shapes. Oh, beautiful. Murray gifted his extensive private collection of historical and cultural items to public ownership, and today this small museum has over 20,000 items on display. So this is really ingenious. This is a 150-year-old wooden trough, which would be put 20 metres up in trees with water in. Birds would feast on berries and the like, get thirsty, go to the trough, not realise that they were going to get their head stuck in the snares. And after they had a drink, they'd get stuck. You can see that this one, for example, has got one of the snares around its neck. They'd be collected, plucked, and cooked. And a trough like this would be used to collect the fat. And if the fat was rubbed over the cooked meat, it could be preserved for up to a year in storehouses. How clever is that? Little traditional meeting house. It's beautiful. This whole place has got this series of buildings. You only kind of see that building at the front. You don't realise how big it is back here. But we've just been in that building there for a good 45 minutes. It's excellent.
From the front, this place looks quite small and unassuming, and we weren't entirely sure from the outside whether it would be worth a visit. The museum quickly became one of the best we found anywhere in New Zealand, and we spent several hours there exploring the excellently presented displays and learning about the local history and way of life. If you find yourself on the Banks Peninsula, this museum is well worth a trip.
It is so just serene and peaceful around here. It's lovely. Super quiet. Beautiful farmland. It's gorgeous. Just been walking around the hillside here. It's beautiful. That's the beach there where the campground is. Our van's just the other side of that tree line. It's just gorgeous. The scenery's stunning. And that little gap between the two cliffs is amazing. I don't know if you can see in the distance there. It's a little cargo ship just floating along very slowly. It's really beautiful here.
Very peaceful.
Very peaceful.
Looks like a storm might be coming in outside.
Looks like a storm might be coming in. It does look a bit like a storm might be coming in. It's a bit grey. It's 3:15. It should be brighter than that. So I think we might pause here and wander back to the van for the night? Afternoon.
We decided for dinner we were going to go to the general store to get fish and chips. But
They stopped serving fish and chips at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. people! 7 p.m.
What time do you guys eat here?
Things shut early in New Zealand, but
We're
7
also-
p.m.
We're also very rural in the sticks.
Yeah, no, there's nothing here to be fair.
No.
There's a beautiful view off down that way. Yeah, the clouds are clearing up a tiny bit, but only a tiny bit, it must be said.
Or it could be steam from a volcano.
It could be. So from us, and a lovely little walk on the beach, good night,
Good
and
night.
we will see you tomorrow when we are driving like half an hour. Look at that. Gorgeous. We are in Akaroa. It's beautiful. You've got the backdrop of the mountains up there. The front gardens are outrageous. The houses are all brightly painted and coloured. And you've got the ocean down there. It's lovely. We'll show you the town in a minute. We're going to go and see a place called the Giant's Garden first, which looks like a bit of fun. Welcome to the Giant's house. And I'm having to zoom out on my phone to fit it in because it is enormous. The whole garden is covered in these wonderful mosaics. So these have all been put together by an artist called Josie Martin. She lived here for 26 years, and as she was digging through the garden she found bits of china that had been buried 100 years ago because there was no rubbish collection, and rather than throw them away she kept them, mixed them up with tiles and mosaics that she'd found herself, and created these works of art. And it's kind of crazy. Very strange in here, but I'm very impressed. This whole place is one giant mosaic, and look at some of this. It's amazing. All done with mosaic tiling. These guys are about 3 meters tall. Very clever. Look how pretty this is. Oh, what a view. Hee hee! What a spot. Oh, this is a place to sit and read a book. Look at that. We seem to have found a mosaic giraffe with a very long tongue. Or it's eaten a snake. Beautiful. Look at the colour on it.
An elephant here.
Aww. And an owl.
And a very clever squid.
So clever. I understand why it took the artist 22 years to do this. It just stretches and stretches and stretches. Look at that. Dog and a cat up there. It's amazing. Truly amazing. Look at the front of this house. It's so oversized. But my goodness, is this spectacular. And we just met the artist. She was just inside her kitchen. We just called through and said, well done on creating something so spectacular. It's $25 each to come in, which nearly put us off. It is pricey. But I feel like my life is a little richer for having seen this, and it's worth 25 bucks a person. No, this must have a lot of work going on to keep it in one place. A lot of money, but really spectacular. Here's an amazing little bit of history that you can accidentally miss whilst you walk down this street. This house was the birthplace of Commander Frank Worsley, who was the captain of the Endurance, one of the most famous ships of all time. This is where he was born. Welcome to Akaroa town. It is small, it is cute, it is touristy. It's nicely kept.
It's nicely done, it's not overly touristy. The
No.
restaurants look really nice.
Yeah, it's a lovely little place. We are going for a little walk and we're going to go down to the waterfront and have a little chill.
They took our money earlier from the fudge.
It's a really beautiful war memorial here in the middle of Akaroa. I think this was erected as a World War I memorial. You can see just in here and around on the inside the names of everyone who fell from this area. I suspect this might cover the whole Banks Peninsula. And there's a plaque here in the middle on the floor to those who died in World War II.
My husband makes very poor ice cream flavoured choices and has chosen to have blueberry and passion fruit.
It's so poor she won't like it. I'll get rid
And he
of
also got a massive one.
it. Tiny little waterfront. Lovely and calm. Water looks really clear. Beautiful. We'll come back here in a bit. This place is so heavily French influenced, there's a French flag flying.
There's also this stone was erected to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the arrival of the French settlers.
Who
Arrived
landed
in
on this spot
1840.
16th of August 1840, wow.
That was meant to have been our wedding date.
Oh god, was it? One of many. Thank you, COVID. We have found a little spot on this little lakeside, well, I guess it is a beach, it's the ocean. And it's calm, it's peaceful, it's warm, it's not too windy. And we are going to chill here. Look at this. And to end a very relaxing day of not doing very much, drinks with a view. See you later. On the day that I proposed to my wife, I said, "Come with me, my darling." I said, "You'll live in luxury and comfort. You'll want for nothing. Your joys will be endless."
Oh.
And look at her now, showering in a bucket.
In a car park.
But aren't you happy? Look at that. Bit of fresh hot water out of the kettle. This is luxury. This is joyful. This is happy basic living. And it's good for us.
Excuse me while I wash my armpits.
Enjoy. Okay, I'm not complaining. One downside of free camping in a car park is that it's like a 400-meter walk to the toilet, which means that pint of beer I had earlier was a mistake. Look at this. Hello. I seem to have made friends with a little puppy. That is so beautiful.
Good morning from Akaroa Harbour. We have just had a really chilled out evening, sleeping in a free camping spot just up the road. But this morning we're going to go to an actual campsite and treat ourselves to a shower. Very exciting. But around then we're going to go to the smokehouse and have a little bit of smoked salmon. There's a winery around the corner, so we're going to try a bit of that. So we can see we have a very, very stressful day ahead of us. But first, coffee with this amazing view.
Do you know where in New Zealand is properly gorgeous, other than, you know, everywhere? The Banks Peninsula. Look at this. That's Akaroa down there in the distance. The whole place is just nestled between these rolling green hills. This is our caravan park for the night, which is really nice. That lake. It's not a lake, I keep calling it a lake, it's the ocean.
Welcome to the Akaroa Winery with the most stunning backdrop.
This is Alan. He is our sommelier and owns this wonderful place. Sweetheart, what are we about to try?
We are about to try the 2018 Chardonnay.
And it is...
Hey guys.
Hiya, how are you?
Good day.
Really good. Really, really good.
We left the winery with a lovely bottle of blended white wine and went back to our campsite to chill.
I have been wanting to do this all day. There's lots of people in the water, which makes me think it's not that bad, including a very happy dog. Okay, here we go. How cold is it? Quite cold. Not gonna lie, viewers, quite cold. But, oh, it is nice. I spent the afternoon clowning around in the ocean and enjoying the spectacular views of the Banks Peninsula. This wonderful stretch of unexpected coastline is only an hour's drive from Christchurch, and if you find yourself nearby, it's really well worth a visit.
Next time on the Dumps Down Under.
I've never seen anything like it before. There's probably 60 or 70 kites in the sky. It's so beautiful. We explore South Brighton Beach on the outskirts of Christchurch, and we experience one of the absolute highlights of our time in New Zealand. We go swimming with the dolphins in Kaikoura.
Dive down, they'll chase you.
Wow!
Thank you so much for watching. We really hope that you've enjoyed this episode. See you next time. And please, if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button.